I'm Henry Ramos, retired professor of physics. I've been scientist 3 at the University of the Philippines, Dilim, Quezon City, Liman. And I have been recipient of many awards, like 15 Men and Women of Philippine Science in 2010 or 2012. So I work in plasma physics. Why I chose plasma, for example, when I was a graduate student, my first baptism with fire. Sometimes plasma is called fire. So any fire is a plasma state, right? So my first baptism with fire was when I was a graduate student in Australia. Back then, there were only 3 topical areas where one could do a thesis or dissertation. One is nuclear theory, nuclear physics, another statistical mechanics, and the third one is plasma physics. The first 2 consist of mathematical rigor and abstractions, which were beyond my comprehension. It's my simplistic mind. So I chose the least evil, which is plasma physics. So when I came back from Australia, I wanted to start a laboratory to do research in plasma physics. There are 3 problems of doing research in the Philippines at the time that I came back. One is manpower. Nobody was trained to be a technician or a research student, for example. So manpower is a big problem. Second problem is funds. So back then the mindset of the university was to give funds, but only minuscule scale. So imagine they gave me a grant of something like 40,000 pesos to conduct research in plasma physics. And at the time, 40,000 pesos would buy you a sheet of stainless steel metal, 1 centimeter thickness, and 1 meter by 2 meters in dimension. But that's only the sheet of metal. So you have to have it machined to form the parts of the chamber that you're planning to do experiments on. And yung mahirap pa doon, they give me the grant in 4 tranches. 10,000 for the first quarter, 10,000 for the second quarter, 10,000 for the third quarter, and 10,000 for the fourth quarter. In other words, what do you report in terms of progress when they ask for accounting of how much money or how you spend the money? So I said, okay, I cannot do a report in a scientific way, because what do I report? I received 10,000 pesos, awaiting the rest of the releases so that I can buy the sheet metal. So I returned the money. I said, thanks DOST, but no thanks. So that was a big problem then, funding. Third problem is time, supposedly time. But that we have plenty of, diba, in the Philippines, dami nating bakasyon eh. So we had plenty of time. So yun lang ang tatlo na yan, time, manpower, and funding. Skills, we learned it when we were sent abroad for studies to do graduate school. Science and technology and innovation are the drivers of economic growth, to me, anyway. Having seen first world countries like Japan and Australia, where there's a very intensive work on science and technology. And innovations give you new processes, open up new markets. So it is some kind of an inclusive growth mechanism for economic growth. So if the economy is improving, you can channel back some of the proceeds that you get from the economic growth into science and technology research for further development, for further innovations. So as you can see, why are big companies so successful because of innovations like Sony, Samsung, iPhones ninyo, di ba? So science and S&P for me is a driver of economic growth. So they're quite important. Malaki kasi you're supposed to be the promise of the nation, di ba? And we should start them young. Especially ngayon, hirap lang makakuha ng scientist, di ba? The number of research and development scientists and engineers in the Philippines is something like 127 per million population. And the UNESCO norm is something like 350. So we're half of it. So we should start them young. Kailangan daming kalaban, di ba? Television set, electronics devices. So how do we channel back the youth's focus towards science and technology? I think we need to train teachers. Because teachers are the harbingers of progress in terms of S&T. And we should imbue in the youth the passion for science and technology. Because without the passion, you cannot go into such fields. Especially, we have to train them early on in mathematics.